Ever wonder what everyone's doing on their phones? They're banking with Bank of America.
They're saving, planning, and budgeting all before dessert.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?
I have to say, wait, that was pretty lame. Good afternoon, everyone. I know you've all just had lunch. I was just thinking I might be the only politician coming out today that's not currently running for higher office. Not sure what to make of that. Other than, I think I have one of the best jobs in politics in Michigan. I get to be the Oakland County executive. It's an awesome job in an awesome county, although lately, it seems like all eyes have been on the community to the south of 8 Mile Road, just across the border. Oakland County didn't have an NFL draft. We're not on any prestigious lists of top places to visit in the world. Congratulations, Detroit. But seriously, I'm not jealous. I'm really not. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm thrilled about the, I'd say, well-deserved attention that Detroit is getting, because that makes it so much easier for all of us to sell this region as a place filled with imagination and innovation and opportunity, mixed with a heavy dose, I might add, of grit. We know that, right? And this region is brimming with people who are driving the innovation economy, and I'm so glad that that's what we're talking about today. And this state and this region have really become leaders in advanced manufacturing and research and development, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for that. Certainly in Oakland County, we're proud of how we contribute to the strength of Michigan and this region, with an economy and a population that's bigger than 9 states. Not sure you realize that. Pretty proud of that. We've got 2,600 manufacturers, 38,000 small businesses, a slew of bustling downtowns, and nearly 1.3 billion people. And we have a team in Oakland County I'm very proud of that understands in today's changing economy, we have to find new ways to meet the needs of our businesses. So that's why we've been focused on developing big ideas into initiatives to provide, I know it's cliche, but really transformational change that benefit our residents and our employees. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. But I also just want to mention, by the way, that we have a new economic development leader of our team. The team is now being led by Dom Holmes. And I want to put his picture up on the screen. If you know Dom, give him a shout out. He's been a key player on the team already as our deputy director for 6 years, but now he's in the big seat. So look for him because he's here. Dom, raise your hand. There he is over there. Grab his business card, because if you don't know Dom, you're going to want to. So let me just talk about a few things that we've been able to do in what I would call the innovation economy. Project Diamond, I'm going to start with that. It started out in the early days of the COVID pandemic as a way to encourage our small manufacturers to pivot their production, and in that case, into making desperately needed personal protection equipment, like medical supplies that were needed both here and abroad. So instead of giving these small manufacturers direct grants like we could have, we gave them 3D printers to ease the transition, and companies like Total Door in Waterford were able to mass produce needed items. The Total Door, for instance, made, check this out, 10,000 clips in 10 days that were shipped overseas and assembled into tourniquets for the Ukrainian war effort. They'd have never been able to do that without the technology of 3D printers. And since then, more than 300 printers have been distributed, allowing manufacturers to drastically cut their production time and their costs, and, what's exciting to me, keeping those parts being made in Oakland County. So this is one way that we're moving our businesses towards what I think you're familiar with, the Industry 4.0, by ensuring that our manufacturers are digitally connected to a network that allows them to compete globally in a robust supply chain. And the ripple effect of this, by the way, has been pretty astounding. With our partners at Automation Alley, we opened the Digital Transformation Center at GeoFabrics in Auburn Hills. We did that last June, and we're providing the training to companies that are hoping to join this 3D printing network. And so far, 145 Oakland County firms have decided to do just that because they see the advantage now and what Industry 4.0 really means. And spurred on by the enthusiastic support of my friend Governor Whitmer, the program is going statewide. And we've now got a waiting list of 100 companies from across Michigan for the next 10-week training program. People are beginning to understand and see the advantages of this kind of technology. And we've also been talking to our federal delegation in Washington, who is now, I think, starting to understand the benefits of the program and how we might even apply this nationally. So pretty exciting stuff. So Project Diamond is just one illustration of how we are confronting challenges with innovation. Another I want to talk about is how we changed our approach to supporting Oakland County's small businesses. When I took office 5 years ago, the county's one-stop shop was the model entrepreneur space for making, but you had to make a trip to Pontiac to get there. And you know, if you own a small business or you run a small business, you understand that it's not always easy to get out of your space and come up to Pontiac to get the services that our one-stop shop provided. In fact, only about 400 businesses a year took advantage of those services. I was confident, after seeing those numbers, that we could serve more of our small businesses, and the way we did it is by going directly to them instead of making them come up to the campus in Pontiac. So in 2022, we launched Business Forward, and we embedded 9 consultants in communities throughout the county. They provided individual coaching and workshops on everything from financial planning to social media strategy, all of it, right on the doorsteps of those businesses, not just on our county campus. The results have been pretty amazing. The program has since evolved. It's grown into a nonprofit called Oakland Thrive, if you haven't heard of it. And it's grown from its original 9 business consultants to 14 today. And this is what I'm really excited about because I like to follow the data. Since we started this approach, we've connected our business consultants with more than 7,600 small businesses. We're making an impact at the small business level. That's right. 9 times more entrepreneurs than we were helping before. Really excited. And that when you get out of the mindset of how you've always done it, it's amazing the results that you can achieve. And by the way, I'm also gearing up for the research and development tax credits. If there's any legislators in the room, thank you for passing that. And thank you, Governor Whitmer, for signing it last year. With all the engineers and programmers who live and work in my county, these tax credits are vital for the creative production that's happening in this region and in my county. I don't know if you know this, but 40% of the research and development in Michigan takes place in Oakland County. It's a huge industry for us. And in the same way that we help our businesses navigate the bureaucracy for state and federal resources, we're going to assist our R&D companies to take full advantage of these new tax credits. So thank you, legislators, if you're out there. So another thing that we've been confronting in, I think, an innovative way is the pipeline of skilled and talented workers that we all know has been such a challenge, right? And so that's where our Oakland 80 initiative comes in. I don't know if you've heard of it, but our education and training beyond high school is absolutely key to fulfilling careers, higher wages, and luring companies to Southeast Michigan. So when Governor Whitmer announced her 60 by 30 initiative, I looked at the data in Oakland County and found that about 61% of the adults in Oakland County already had a college degree or certified post-secondary training. Pretty good. We've actually reached her goal. So we had 2 choices. We could either say we've met the, we're doing what we can and keep doing the great work that we're doing in workforce development, or we could raise the bar to meet the needs of our employers and our residents in the future. So raising the bar was the choice we made. We set a goal of 80% of our residents having this post-secondary degree or certification by 2030. And we invested, by the way, you got to invest in these things. That's what the college presidents and the training people told me. If you make an investment, we think we can help you. So we invested $20 million of our ARPA dollars into our Oakland 80 program, and we hired Oakland 80 career navigators to help people access the skills they need to secure their futures and to provide residents with the resources from everything from books to fees and childcare and transportation, breaking down any of the barriers that we could find that can all too often prevent people from achieving their education goals. And by the way, it's not only adults that need these services, but we've come to recognize in doing this work that we got to get to our high school students as well, because they need to be able to see and feel and hear about the opportunities that are available to them as well, right? And sometimes they have a hard time imagining it. If you can't see it, you can't be it, I sometimes say, and I think that's true with high school students. So 12 of our Oakland 80 coaches are now embedded in high schools across the county, assisting students on the start of their path to a career, helping them with college and financial aid and applications. We're taking them on tours of colleges so that they can actually see what it's like. We're getting them pre-registered, and we're guiding them to the careers that not only match their interests and their passions and their skills, but also align with the jobs that are in high demand in our county. So speaking of students, one of my favorite things to do every year, and part of this program, is to go to My Career Quest and Manufacturing Day, which we do over at the Showplace in Novi. It's one of my favorite events because there are literally like 8,000 to 10,000 high school students, not just from Oakland County, but across the region, actively engaged in hands-on demonstrations about potential jobs. More than 6,200 kids this year participated. It's been up to as high as 10,000. And you know they're excited because I go there and I don't see a single kid on their cell phone. Which, I don't know if you know, but that's almost impossible. So we give them hands-on opportunity to see what jobs look like, feel like. And I am really proud of the fact that through all of these various efforts, our Oakland 80 efforts are paying off. 3 years ago when we launched this program, like I said, we were at about 61% of our population with a degree or certification. And I believe that when we release our annual report this fall, I'm confident that we will have surpassed 70% of our population. I got 5 years to get to 80. They tell me the first few years are a little easier than the last couple of years, so we're going to keep working at it. But 70% is an enormous achievement in 3 years. I'm really proud of it because it translates into more talent for our businesses and greater wages and opportunities for the residents of Oakland County and the region, frankly. So while Oakland County employers need that pipeline of skilled workers, those workers and their families also need an affordable place to live. And I think we're all aware of the challenges around affordable housing that's hopefully close to where they work and allows them to build their financial equity that can serve as a long-term sort of foundation for their futures, right? So we know that affordable housing is important. So we as a county have made major investments to increase the inventory of affordable housing by creating a $20 million housing trust fund. And in just 1 year, we've provided gap financing and incentives for 9 housing projects across Oakland County. Now, I realize that number may pale in comparison to Detroit, but we did 0 before I got in office, 0. So we have a strategy of making sure that our labor force can stay in Oakland County. And those 9 projects have already created almost 700 new affordable, accessible housing units, including 216 senior units at Oakland Woods in Pontiac, 32 affordable homes in Royal Oak Township, another 72 at Wellspring in Southfield, and 2 of them that I'm really excited about are Walton Oaks and Auburn Oaks in Rochester Hills, because there we're partnering with 3 Oaks communities to provide neighborhoods that include housing for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. When we broke ground on Walton Oaks in September, the family members who were there were overjoyed that their loved ones, for the first time in their lives, were going to be able to experience a level of supported independence. It's only the second such development in the state, and it's going to provide our residents of these neighborhoods the opportunity and the blessing to live in an inclusive community that understands and respects people of all abilities. Really proud of those projects. Of course, we all know that Many people can't get to the jobs that are out there without affordable and reliable public transportation. I've talked about this a lot. Many of us in this room, including those at the Detroit Regional Chamber, have been working for decades to improve public transit in our region, because without it, we're losing out on major corporate investment, and we're often overlooked by the people, especially young people, who are looking for places to land as they start their careers. Many of them don't want to have to worry about the high cost of owning a car and choose Chicago or New York or somewhere else as attractive alternatives. We got to stop that. So I'm proud to say that we're on the path towards building better public transit in Oakland County, thanks to the voters who supported a countywide millage in 2022 and our local transit providers. They've been great. They've stepped up to expand their routes and their hours of service, to standardize rates across the county, $2 a ride wherever you go, to all corners of the county. And by the way, I'm hearing that Wayne County is soon going to follow suit, and I congratulate my Wayne County friends as well. So a few of the examples that we've been able to do. SMART's opened up several new major routes to Novi and Rochester, Rochester Hills, across M59 to West Oakland County. Can you imagine those job centers not having public transit? They didn't 2 years ago. They do now. And our local providers, our smaller local providers in the north and west, they've seen double-digit increases in ridership. If you offer good public transportation, people will use it. And our program for free public transit, by the way, for veterans and their caregivers, has now been extended through 2025. So we want to take care of them as well. So these new routes and these new services are getting people to jobs and to school. They're helping people get to doctor's appointments and shopping. They're improving the lives of people in our county, and they're getting cars off the roads, which is easing both traffic congestion and reducing emissions into the air. So I think it's a win-win. But I want to say this, it's just the beginning. I'm also confident, I'll say it today and I'll continue to say it, that along with my partners in the region, we can make progress on expanding transit everywhere, starting with expanding rapid transit on our major corridors. I think that's our next step. I think it's achievable, and Oakland County is committed to being a partner in doing that. So finally, I just want to talk very briefly about something that I think is really important. Our economy, our culture, and our population benefit from immigration. The only reason our population in Michigan and in Oakland County have grown at all in the last decade is because immigrants have chose our great state to settle. These new residents are business owners. They're skilled workers. They're engineers. They're business owners. They're entrepreneurs. They're helping to fuel our growth in so many ways. And you know what? They're also our neighbors and our friends, helping to make our communities more vibrant and diverse. I know I got to wrap up, and I will, but I'm really proud of the fact that we welcomed 25 new citizens to Oakland County. That was the first time we had done that as a county. They all had different reasons for coming to the United States, but they chose Oakland County and Michigan, and we couldn't be happier to welcome them. And they are, I just want to say once and for all, they're valued members of our community who deserve all the respect of all of us. Yeah. So, as you can maybe tell, I'm proud of what we're doing in Oakland County. It's why I love my job so much. And the people who are doing the work every day to develop and implement new ways to meet the needs of our businesses and our residents. So this innovation economy is happening in Oakland County and at its best. We're identifying those gaps and holding people and companies that have held people and companies back, and we're going to help them overcome all the challenges of this new and evolving economy. So I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. Have a great conference, and come visit us in Oakland County. Thank you, everybody.
Ever wonder what everyone's doing on their phones? They're banking with Bank of America.
They're saving, planning, and budgeting all before dessert.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?